What is up everyone, and we are back with another guide about Phantasy Star Online 2. Today we are talking about what to do in episode 4. For those of us who've been following my guides, you should be ahead of the curve with not much to do. You should have a Nemesis and Raven weapon with decent augments. You should also have some 12-star units as well. On top of this, if you had a lot of time on your hands, you should also have tens of millions of Meseta, if not hundreds of millions of Meseta. If you don't know, Nemesis and Raven is still top tier, including all the new weapons brought into episode 4. Yes, there are 14-star weapons, however they won't upgrade to 15-star like the Nemesis or Raven series weapons. If you don't have 100 million Meseta, you need to start saving for the future. If you need help with that, I've made multiple guides such as 40 million a week, 50 million a day, upslotting for profit, and how to get free AC and premium for life, and more. If you need help making Meseta, there are guides out there on my channel or listed in the description down below. There's not much to buy in episode 4 except a few augments and the Zeinesis weapon series. And with all that being said, here's what to do in episode 4. And at the end, I'm going to be showing you 2 stock picks that I highly recommend currently today. First, do gathering, specifically for Xerxes 100k item rewards. Do this only for 2 of those items out of the 5. Doing it for 2 of the items gives you 200k, which also finishes your weekly quest for 1 million Meseta per character per week. Now you can do all 5 100k items from Xerxes, however gathering for that long every day is quite a hassle. I personally stopped gathering on all of them and focused only on 2 of them to finish the Meseta rewards. Focusing only on 2 of them stops you from thinking gathering is a chore or a job. If you only do 2, you only need to do gathering a few times per week compared to every day if you did all 5 of them. If you have the funds, it's highly recommended to buy or make gathering boost items. These increase your drop rate dramatically up to 400% and cuts down on the amount of times you need to gather every day. For Nefarious Shroom, get Ruined Salmon in fruit sauce or Underground Shafts grilled shrimp for a 400% drop rate increase. For Wolpal Shell, Ruined Shrimp Tempura for a 100% drop rate, or Nightfall Province Firefly Squid Pie for a 200% drop rate. Empty Bottle and Lilliput Vest is Marinated Coast Mussels for 100% drop rate, or Nightfall Province Needlefish Galanti for 200% drop rate. For the Dragon Scale and Hurricane Fragment, get a Floating Facility Turn of Ravioli at a 200% drop rate. On top of this, finish the other weekly quest for more Meseta. Next up is the Zeinesis series weapon. At plus 30 grinded, its potential is unlocked at level 3, which gives you a flat 10% augment rate of success. This makes it the best weapon in the game for augmenting. This is acquired from the player shop or from the urgent quest, Deus Esca Maker of the New Epochs. So try to farm this or buy one in the player shop. It doesn't matter which type it is, just get any, probably the cheapest possible, as you're going to be augmenting this weapon and transferring all the augments on this weapon to your endgame weapon. To transfer all augments, I made a video guide about that, but you need transfer passes, which are acquired from the swap shop at 10 class X cubes per class group. It's as follows. Do not use these transfer passes now, as there are only a few endgame augments and you are capped out at 30 per month currently in episode 4. When the new classes get released, you're going to be capped out at 40 augment transfer passes per month. So stack them up and save them for the future, and you can thank me later. Next up is augmenting. Yes, there are endgame augments currently in the game, and the first one is Astral Soul, which gives you 35 to all attack, all defense, and HP, and plus 5 to PP. Astral Soul is easy to acquire on weapons through upgrading a race series weapon to plus 35, and that will unlock its 100% special ability factor of Astral Soul, so you can transfer that Astral Soul onto any weapon you desire. So it's recommended to put this augment on Zeinesis weapon, but not yet because it gets more complicated with other endgame augments. The next one is Aether factor, but we'll come back to that. So for Astral Soul on units, it's created by 4 Soul Catalysts and 1 Soul of Darkness. 1 Soul Catalyst is created by Elder Soul, Loser Soul, Apprentice Soul, Deborah Soul, Persona Soul at a 10% chance of success. Soul of Darkness is a dropped augment that's quite easy to get and it's cheap on the market. Now some of the soul augments are not in episode 4 or currently in the global version, but you can buy soul catalyst items on the market. And that's what I did to create some of these Astral Soul augments that I have on my units. Next up is Aether Factor. This is created by 4 Factor Catalysts and 1 Aether Soul. It gives 30 to all attack, all defense, and 10 to HP, and 6 to PP. It's a cheaper version or a 1 tier below of Astral Soul. So 2 of these together can give you quite a lot of stats down to your items. And in the Japan version, these 2 together are usually the endgame augments. So you need 4 Factor Catalysts and 1 Aether Soul. 1 Factor Catalyst is created by combining Yamato, Mother, and Dios Factor. Currently all of these are in the game, so you can make an Aether Factor if you choose so. Aether Soul is created by combining 2 of the following augments: Full Vegas Soul, Escardi Soul, or Eastern Soul at a 10% success rate. So for those Factor Catalysts, 1 Aether Soul creates Aether Factor at a 60% rate. Just use a 40% Augment Aid booster to get it to 100% success rate. Now that I said this, prices might rise, so it's recommended to buy now if you can. Yamato Factor is the most expensive one, and it's rising every day. The other 2 are under 100k each, so keep that in mind. Another one to add for the third augment is Veterans Resolve 5. However, this one is extremely expensive compared to Aether Soul, but if you have the funds to create it, you can create it by getting 3 items with Veterans Resolve 4 on them for a 20% chance of success. So if you wanted to add all these 3 augments, Veterans Resolve, Aether Factor, and Astral Soul on to a weapon, which you currently can, here is the fodder gear you can use to make that happen. Please remember you can't create this on units as we're missing Factor Receptors and Soul Receptors for units. When you're searching for these items on the market, don't get more than a 4-slot augment, as the last piece of the puzzle is Mana Reverie. Mana Reverie gives 50 to all attack, 20 to HP, and 4 to PP. It's not in episode 4, it's going to be released in future episodes. So these 4 augments, Mana Reverie, Aether Factor, Astral Soul, and Veterans Resolve 5 is the reason why you don't go past 4 slot augments. And this brings me to Recycle Badges. If you didn't see, Recycle Badges are on the rise, and that's because 10 of them create a 4-slot protection item from the swap shop. This item makes it so if you fail any of these augments on an item, you get all of the items back. It's highly recommended to do this when combining Astral Soul and Aether Factor, and then again when you add Mana Reverie to it. So if all of these augments are under 4 slots, then you're going to have this fail protection. Trust me, combining all of these items and making these augments and fodder pieces is extremely expensive. However, just using 10 Recycle Badges will protect you from losing millions of Meseta. To combine Astral Soul and Aether Factor, you need Soul and Factor Receptors, which are currently not dropping for units. Only Soul Receptor is on weapons, but since Factor Receptor isn't out yet, you can't combine the 2. That's why you need to save your augment transfer passes and buy and keep Recycle Badges for the future. If you want to find cheap AC gear as indicated on the items as an A symbol to exchange them for Recycle Badges, search for 6-star and above at a 150k minimum price, outfits and parts, layering wear, weapon camos, and consumables. I found hundreds over the months for around 130k to 170k each, and if you didn't know, these items are equivalent to a Recycle Badge. So in the exchange shop where it says you need X amount of AC gear, you can just use Recycle Badges instead. They take up less inventory space, so it's recommended to exchange your cheap AC gear for these Recycle Badges. Next, I'm going to be talking briefly about crafting. If you want to, craft Photon Arts and Techniques if you have the time. Every day, these sell for tens to 100 millions of Meseta at endgame, so good luck in crafting. If you do have time, feel free to level your alt characters to level 75 to unlock those class bonuses. Each one of them is a global bonus for your whole account on each character. This is easily done with silver and gold keys. Speaking of silver keys, they are better than gold keys, and if they expire, you can still exchange those expired silver keys for gold keys, so don't trash them or throw them out. Keep them for a rainy day and exchange all of your expired silver keys for gold keys, like on an EXP event or PSO2 day. Especially when episode 5 and episode 6 come out, each of these episodes increases your max level above 5, so when episode 5 comes out, the max level is going to be 85. So you can easily accomplish this by exchanging your expired silver keys for fresh, usable gold keys and level up. This is currently and always will be the fastest way to level up. If you want to learn more, there's a video guide in the description down below titled The Fastest Way to Max Level. Lastly, if you didn't know, Endgame is also fashion items because all of these fashion items transfer over to new Zeinesis when it gets released in 2021. And fashion items are limited, so if you want to get your hands on some good fashion items, use all the techniques I've given you on this channel to get more Meseta. Then use your Meseta to buy your favorite fashion items before those prices rise even more. If you do like the Star Gem fashion items, do PvP to easily acquire more Star Gems. If you want a guide about PvP, it too is listed in the description down below. If you do have a video idea, please feel free to comment that down below as well. I've been quite busy with the stock market and college, so some of my videos have been slacking. By the way, if you want some ideas of stocks, here you go. First up, you should buy Shell stock, or ticker symbol SHLL, as they are competitors in a $800 billion trucking market. They are merging with Helion, and that company currently creates transportation semi-trucks, or their products can be swapped onto any semi-truck out there, which saves the trucking industry from spending a lot of money on brand new trucks. Tesla and Nikola trucks are trucks, meaning they have to buy those trucks. You can't just swap your gear onto your current truck, and that's what separates all those three companies from each other. Tesla's and Nikola's trucks won't be released for a few more years. However, Helion already has their own trucks out there as test subjects. Most traders out there have a target price of about $110 per common stock shortly after the merger at the end of September. So if I were you, I would keep an eye out for that. Next, one of the best dividend stocks, and I highly recommend, is AT&T. If you see this at below $30 per share, I would highly recommend to buy it. Currently, it's in the low $29, and remember, the cheaper you buy it, the higher its dividend yield is going to be, because that's the comparison, how much they pay to the current price of that stock that you bought it at. So buying it now locks in that dividend yield, unless they change their dividend yield, but they have been raising their dividend yield for the past 30 years, I think. This is about a 7% dividend yield, which is high on average. If you want to know more about stocks, there are other YouTubers out there. However, for this channel, I'm just going to be throwing some of my stock picks out there every now and then at the end of the videos, just like this. But for real though, check out ticker symbol SHLL and do your research before buying it. I bought in kind of late at around $50 a share, and currently it's around $44 to $46 a share due to speculation. However, Shell doesn't have a lot of publicity, and you better believe when the merger happens with Helion, it's going to have more publicity as it's in direct competition with Tesla and Nikola. By the way, I posted Tesla a few months ago on one of my videos, and it was listed at about $700. If you bought in at that time and saved it until it went up to $2,300 before it split, that would have made you over 300% returns. Currently it's around $400 per stock. However, Tesla did do a split, so for every one of those stocks you had before the split, it will be exchanged for 5 stocks. So if you had 1, you now have 5. This enables other interested buyers to buy in at a cheaper price. So a current price of $400 means the stock price would be $2,000 before the split. So if you held on to those Tesla stocks at $2,300 each and the split occurred, you now have 5 Tesla stocks at $460 per share. Now, if you like this video and it helped you out, and you like how I integrate stock market analysis and stock picks in this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. Thank you all for tuning in and listening, and until next time.